opposite.
Yeah, it's inverted.
It's inverted?
I had to go put lotion on my hands. They're so dry.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Like I can hear my hands too.
I hear them too.
How do I not have it so sensitive? Because
it's you don't.
How about you, Abs? Yeah, pretty sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Has it always been this way?
Yep.
Interesting. Roosterbat's live.
It is.
Roosterbat's live? I didn't know that.
Roosterbat is live. There we go. That's much better. That's more aesthetically pleasing to me. All right. What we can do, okay, I think we got to get Kris on. Let's see.
Zoom?
Invite.
Is he joining us for pre and post show too?
Yep.
Right on.
Yay!
It's about to get weird.
I want to text him.
I don't have his
The deaf person that can hear followed you 18 days ago. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What?
I'm not used to seeing this screen.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I'm not used to seeing it either.
And I got a new monitor so that my eyeballs wouldn't bleed anymore.
No more bleeding eyeballs.
Mm-hmm. It's important.
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
I can't help you because I don't understand what you're doing either.
Well, my thing is I added him as a friend and he never accepted. So now I gotta see if I can send him an invite. Still says pending.
I don't ever friend request anyone on there. I would be sure that it's your phone is buzzing.
Yeah, I have to do the whole mute thing.
Wait, no, that's red.
What do you think, Abs? Look at how far I am into the blanket.
You can blanket it.
I know. Once I get done with that skiing, it'll be halfway. So this is almost halfway.
Okay.
Crazy, huh?
Boom.
Does it look good?
Boom.
It's kind of like a retro rainbow, huh?
Yeah.
Feels beachy. I still haven't decided if I'm keeping it or selling it yet.
I want to keep it.
Then let's keep it.
Oh, I thought that's what I sent him. I guess I didn't send him a Zoom link. Okay, how do I invite somebody to this? This is my
You need their email address
Okay.
that is connected to their Zoom.
Invite. Copy invite link.
There you go.
All right, then I just send it to Twitter, I guess.
So how you guys are chatting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have his phone number?
No.
Babe, it's our old phone number. I think he still has the same one.
What do you mean our old phone number?
I'm not going to say it out loud, but it was a number that I had at the very beginning when we first met before we got our own lines.
Okay, let's see. Let's
see how almost finished I am with it.
Yeah. Oh, dang. Okay, so do the colors on the bottom light up like those cool shoes from back in the day?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I call them lighty up Heelys.
Light up Heelys?
Hey,
Yes.
there we go. Admit.
You know what I want really bad is rollerblades. I'm scared.
He's currently joining. What's going on? Doing good. You're kind of loud, but you're good.
Sounds good over here.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, because you guys muted your lines.
We did?
Yeah. No, you went louder. That's good. That's really
That's
good.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Blue Yeti. Sweet.
Right on.
No, you're good, man. Yeah, no, you're good. No, yeah, I'll have video and audio.
It's just not up yet, or what?
I'm getting it started right now. I just wanted to make sure he came on, so nobody that because we're currently streaming already, so I won't. Everything's on like the incognito mode.
Got it.
So the screen. But
Okay, I was just making sure I wasn't like.
So that's what you
Oh,
see.
hi, brother.
Yay!
So you can't see Jess, but can you hear her? Okay, what about Abs? Perfect.
Cool.
Yay!
No,
it's directly through a mic.
Yeah,
Cool.
they have their own mics.
I'm checking if my mic's on.
I am the deep breathing in the background.
I'm the tapping.
The tapping?
I'm the
tippity.
tapping.
Oh.
This is how I sound now.
That's so good.
Yeah.
What they're doing is that even with the little thing on your headphones or your earphones,
Yeah.
they're holding it too close to their mouth.
Well.
Yeah, you don't need to. Get inside my voice.
We've been trying to set up Zoom all day, like literally like just to get it all cropped out. If you go to twitch.tv/roosterbat right now, you're gonna see both of us on the screen.
I just did peace sign too. So did Abs. We don't have a camera on this side because I'm usually in pajamas.
Yeah. So
I'm not. Let me just.
Oh, there comes Abs. So they can see you right now with.
You get shy.
They can see you right now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 monitors in here.
Ooh, I can't hear anything right now.
The man cave.
The man cave.
It's a little like a mini room between the kids' rooms.
I was about to put.
It's one in the middle of Bradley and Abby's room.
There's like a middle door. It's literally like a closet.
It's literally storage. It's just storage.
Yeah, my room's just a tiny bit bigger than it.
Yeah.
It is. It's just like
Quite a bit.
Enough to make Dad jealous. You know, when we were teenagers and the parents were like, "This is what's going to happen to your room when you move out."
Yup.
I do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. My room's still pink. Dad did a sermon last week.
I think so.
Online, and I was like, "Oh, that's my old room. It's so pink." Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a salmon with little daisy flowers on it. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay, Kris, you need to go right now to twitch.tv/roosterbat and look at us. We look amazing right now.
Oh gosh. He's not prepared for this.
/roosterbat.
Oh, I think you smacked your cord.
So the inspiration from the name was when I was writing, I was Bantam, and Bantam is a fighting rooster.
And it was a play on the words of Batman.
Yeah, it was a play on the words for Batman because I wanted to be Batman, but it's the same 6 letters and just in a rearranged fashion. Yeah. Yeah.
It's Alec Baldwin.
It's
Eric Baldwin.
Eric Baldwin. Yeah.
He actually resembles him a lot. Scary.
Are you okay with your Twitch handle being up there? Yeah. Okay. I forgot to ask before we got started. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I guess you don't have a Twitch handle, do you? Sure. Yeah. So, because it was Bantam, I was like, all right. The whole idea was Bantam is a rooster. Batman is one of my childhood, characters. And I was like, okay, how do I intermingle the two? And I was like, all right, the rooster and the bat, and just put them together, So.
Yeah, everything is bats.
Yeah, Alien Bat Pigs is that's Jess though. That's Jess's thing.
I think it's the handle for our Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
or
it is.
Nintendo account.
If you guys want to be our friends on Nintendo. All right, I think I'm done.
Speaking of Nintendo, I didn't even finish I got 6 gold cups in on my Mario Kart adventure. I'm doing the 50cc and getting all goals, and then 100 and then 150. So I'm halfway into the 100. And then I know
she's such a liar.
So Monday was like Migraine Monday.
Yeah,
and then Wednesday it was pull something weird in your back Wednesday. And today is both migraine and twitchy back. So I'm in that above older than 30 normal issues. Oh, it really does.
Still do.
Mm-hmm. Not worth it. Yep.
Yeah. I like Taco Bell. Their new Power Bowl that they have. That's what I'm going for. I'm hitting that Power Bowl. It's lettuce with chicken, grilled chicken, and some black beans. All day.
Do you really? I can't get down with them. I want to. Yeah, I've tried. Their beans are a touchy subject already for me. The texture is too weird.
Yeah. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. That's pretty good.
Slimy bacon.
You couldn't do it.
We have a new show title.
I like eating weird stuff. I think that it's like an adventure. I do not. I used to. And then I don't know. I think it's a food that I grew out of instead of into. Yep. I think so too.
And I've never been like a super sushi fan. I think that there are some sushi providers that aren't the best, so I don't ever want to take that chance. I don't really like seafood in general.
You don't like uncooked food either.
I don't like uncooked food.
He's a very picky eater. Like super picky.
Oh no, no. What?
Oh my gosh. That's Bradley. Yes. Connoisseur.
You're the... Yeah.
That is Bradley to a T. If it has to be exactly how he imagines it, and if it's anything other, then it's not worthy. He'll eat it, but he's not going to enjoy it.
Let me talk to your manager. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, okay, what's number one?
Yeah, what's your fast food? Oh, okay.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Yes.
The 444. The
We are-
444.
That is our date night or date lunch right now. Since he's been off, we both eat under $10.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? Mm-hmm. They're the best. They really are really good. Even if you don't have a Frosty, their Sawsome sauce, 2 thumbs up, especially with the fries.
No.
Didn't like it. The sauce was good, but I want the chicken to be good. Mm. Mediocre. Yeah, I agree. We probably won't go back unless it's the only option. Over here by us, it just opened during quarantine is Angry Chicks.
Yeah.
Yes, so good. So good.
I was gonna talk about that one in the
the like mild. I love buffalo. It's my big problem because my stomach doesn't love it. Is back, but their mildest version made my whole face itchy.
Yeah.
It was pretty warm.
They're like, oh, this is mild.
And so
And
I
she
have
goes,
to get the country
"Oh,
from
sure,
now on.
yeah." Yeah, we went country, or as we call it, Caucasian,
Yes.
because there's no spice. There's no spice on it.
It's pretty yummy though.
And it's, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, last year I was diagnosed with GERD. Like I get the whole stomach ulcers.
Yep.
So I love jalapenos so much, and they don't do well for me. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah. I can't either.
Exactly.
I also have GERD. But the seeds make it hot.
She has like fire lips though. She's really good at hot food. I am not. Not anymore. Oh yeah. No, I don't get that. No.
No, she gets them. Yeah, no, she definitely gets a hot farts.
I get all the farts.
She gets more farts than we want to claim.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
my favorite because he can't get the full effect unless that happens. So it's like a service.
It's not a fun service. Some would say it's okay if we don't do it. Uh-oh.
Oh, Kris is glitched.
Uh-oh. Kris, you still there?
There he is.
Oh, he's back.
It was cool. You were
You
glitched into a
froze?
laugh.
And then you came back. It was.
It
It was
was.
like
It didn't. It wasn't any sound, but yeah, you were kind of just covering your face with your hand.
yeah, you just
Uh
really.
oh.
Yeah. I have audio. There's picture.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I think we're good.
It's all. There's too much Trump on the side TV. That's
is that
what it is.
Trump is taking our internet
There
away.
he is.
I hear you and see you. Oh, no, yeah, now you froze.
Dang it! As soon as it does anything, it freezes again. What's our internet look like, babe?
We are getting 4,600 kilobits a second. We're good.
Oh.
Our drop, we've only dropped 45 frames this whole time. So
Okay,
for
so
20
it's doing
minutes.
good.
Yeah, it's doing good.
You're there.
Do you want to call back, or do you think you'll be
Let's
able?
see if it works without. Probably gonna have a little glitch.
Do you have Spectrum? Yeah.
Yeah, we were on the phone, or I wasn't. He was on the
I
phone
was on
all
the
day.
with them this morning trying to get everything settled, and then literally at 5 o'clock I had to run over to the Spectrum mobile over here by our house to change out our router because the router was bad. I was like, oh, I might have to cancel the show.
Yeah, we're freaking out. Yep.
Yeah.
Every show day something happens.
Man, so the last 3 shows our internet was like 10 megabits a second upload, and we do live stream. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go on Twitter. Luckily nobody watches us, so we're good on that aspect. But like I couldn't upload to YouTube, nothing. I'm like, all right, man, it's there, it's gone. I'm not even gonna mess with it.
It's been pretty terrible. It's weird because we are all watching like Netflix and playing video games several hours of the day right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it does fine all the time until it's podcast time.
Yeah.
So it's something. Mm-hmm.
Man, did you see the Dodgers were playing today? So I was literally gonna talk about that. I was gonna add that to the show notes. I think I did. I added it in there. Baseball goes live, except the sounds and the guest.
Oh my!
I just added that because I saw it on my Twitter feed. Yeah, dude. Well, so they also plan on doing digital cutouts
terrifying.
and just imposing digital, so they don't have people. Yeah, like a video game, and then they're piping in sound. So what if like somebody sucks? Like are they gonna boo them, or everybody's gonna be ooh yay?
It'll be awkward.
That is not even as cool. Like what I would think they should do, and this is my idea, is do like a virtual sit-in where they put monitors there, and then you can have live reactions to it. So
from
that
the audience.
From the audience, but you pay like a premium to it, so it's like you're actually going to the ball game, and you could see the multiple cameras, and then you can have live reactions where you're participating in the chairs and you're doing the live reaction. I think that'd be really kind of cool. That'd be a cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Spectrum. So what we're gonna, the podcast starts at 9. This is kind of like the warm up, and try to get all the jitters out and all that stuff. We'll talk about whatever we want to talk about, and then at 9 o'clock, I'm going to hit a button that's going to say start stream over here. I'm going to count down, and then music will play. You should hear it on your end.
We stopped talking at that point.
Yeah. You like it? Yes. Wait, which one did you hear? Okay, so it's Roosterbat is King of the podcasting thing. Yeah, that. So I have a musician, Mike TV from Get Set Go, that I participate with and talk to and all that stuff. And I I ordered shirts from him like November last year, and I was like, "Hey, bro, where's the shirts at?" He's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, dude. Things got in the way." And I was like, "Hey, how much would it cost to do like a little ditty and all that stuff?" Hey, Travis, thank you. TV Travis just rated us with 4 viewers.
Cool.
Raid.
I don't know what it means, but yay!
I don't know what it means either. Yay.
Yeah. So he hooked me up with a little intro to the thing, and I was like, "Man, that's super cool." And then he's like, "Oh, I want to clean it up." The first one that he made, you could tell like he took like a couple minutes to make it, and then it's like
It was perfect.
It was awesome. It was all scratchy. It kind of had like a vinyl feel to it, and then he cleaned it up and made it like super clean. And he was like, "Oh, I was gonna add music, he wanted to add piano and he wanted to add all this other stuff to it." And I was like, "Dude, no, I love acoustic, and that's thanks for the follow. I can't see your name. I'm sorry about that."
Steam Elements.
No, it's Mbambo Cube. I probably butchered that.
I don't even see where it's at.
So-
Cube.
This one right here.
Oh. It's M Bomb O Cube.
It kind of sounds like barbecue.
Barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken is probably the best way to go. If you're going to have a chicken, like, so we were talking, we went to KFC today, and we wanted to get one of their Colonel chickens, because the Colonel chickens are typically better than the Popeyes chicken, in my opinion. Except for today. Today was all gristle. I had a gristle chicken. El Pollo Diablo. No. We already talked about how people get butt farts. Hot farts.
Yeah.
I did. I meant hot farts.
I like armpit farts.
Yeah. The hotter, the better. The
stinkier.
The stinkier.
We got 3 minutes.
Yeah, we got about 3 minutes to get started.
So the very first part, we are not doing a what gets my goat this time, yeah?
No, we're gonna skip that unless Kris, you have something you want to rant about. You can. I know that you were talking about on your latest episode, or the one you sent me anyway, about how people on Twitter just start picking things apart as far as information. They just, so if you want to get into that, you can. It's
what
called
gets my goat?
What Gets My Goat? Yep. Yeah. Where you have the capability of ranting on something.
Ooh. And then we have... we were skipping it, but if you wanted to do it, you're welcome to it.
Yeah, no, we were...
Okay.
We just... Well, typically I try to find something this week that I saw. The thing that probably is going to bother me a little bit is about the Russia information. What's going on with Russia? Yeah. Okay. Oh, the curriculum, yeah. And then I know you were going to talk about protectionism in schools for the community. You said something about protectionism in schools.
Protection?
How you guys in the school community, how you guys are protecting the LGBT community? Okay. Yep.
What
That's
did
awesome.
you do, Mom?
That's so awesome.
That sounds cool. Heck yeah. So I think we have 1 minute. You guys good? Everybody's good?
I'm good. I'm ready to my lips are zipped.
You're gonna get hello, how are you doing? And We're missing a voice. So which voice are you only hear two? I only hear two of you.
I'm here.
I am also
Okay.
here.
Can you talk, Kris? Oh, I cannot. Let's do that again. Try it again. Why does it do that? No.
No, it's not here. It's not putting your voice on. That's a good. Thank you for the heads up.
Hey, thanks, Travis. I really appreciate that. Okay, try again. Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Nope.
Huh.
I'm glad that was brought up. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's
what makes it hard for us to know.
okay. Yeah, I really appreciate that because that would have sucked.
You would have been so mad tonight when you went back to re-listen.
Well, yeah, because none of his
Gosh,
audio is
darn
getting
it.
recorded right now.
Oh.
That's
Oh, sweet.
okay. All that's right. Okay.
I'm almost annoyed to the tip top because of this guy. Like, I'm done seeing it.
Okay. I should be getting desktop audio. Properties. Okay, do it again.
Hello, hello, hello.
There you go. All right.
Yay.
Yay.
You know what it's from? It's when before the show we were watching NCIS.
That's what happened.
We switched it over to the TV.
We just have to wear earbuds all the
Oopsie.
time. So
Yeah.
because we have 4 monitors, like when we don't do the hands on the ears, 'cause we want to make sure we could just like sit down on the couch over there.
Mhm.
And we switched the audio, and that's exactly what happened.
It's my fault. I hate wearing earphones.
It really
Headphones?
is. It really is.
Earphones?
Yeah, both.
Headphones and
All right.
headphones.
So 5, 4, 3.
Roosterbat is where it's at. Oh, he's all that, and that's a fact, you know it. He's the king of the podcasting thing.
Hello, 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 freaks and geeks. This is David Cadena, and this is the Roosterbat Show. Today we have a special guest, Kris, with the say that your podcast again, Eman.
The Eman and Kris show. It's still new. I don't know if that name's gonna stick, but I'm bad at naming things, and we couldn't find anything, so we just stuck with the Eman and Kris show. It's Kris with a K.
Oh, okay. And in studios we have Jess. Say hello, Jess.
Hello, Jess.
And Abs. Hello, Abs.
Me.
So we don't really have a what gets a goat this week, which is okay. You know, sometimes it's just better not to have something to bitch about. But how are everybody doing, or how is everybody doing this week? Are we doing great?
Yes, I'm doing good.
Okay.
How you doing, Monkey?
Yeah, good.
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 Have you guys seen that? I know Jess and I were watching that Netflix show, Cursed. Have you seen it, Kris?
I have not.
Oh,
What is it
my
about?
goodness. Okay, so imagine the Arthur, the King of the Round Table. All right?
Mhm.
This is supposed to be the predecessor to Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
So this is
It's like a prehistory.
yeah, it's a prehistory to Arthur.
I guess not prehistory.
And it is the female version of Arthur and the freedom with Excalibur. So she has all of like the Excalibur powers, all that stuff. Merlin's her father, and
It's
I probably
intense.
shouldn't have said that part.
Dang,
Spoilers.
dang, dude.
Woo!
I'm gonna have to bleep that out. But yeah,
You
no,
will.
it's really good, man. There's
I'll have to check it out.
a lot of fantasy, and
Yeah, it's very magical. It's pretty awesome.
yeah. Oh, and
It's called Cursed.
Cursed. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's streaming.
All
It's
right.
pretty cool.
You know what I just watched was Lawless with
Oh,
Shia LaBeouf
yes.
or LaBeouf.
LaBeouf.
I say LeBeau.
it.
I say LaBeouf.
I say LaBeouf because I don't know why, but it's more fun to say. And then Tom Hardy's in it, Gary
Mhm.
Oldman,
Yeah.
Great,
Oh,
pretty good
wow.
movie. You know,
Oh,
great
yeah.
acting. Yeah.
We watched that when it first came out, and I want to say that
He's the little brother, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
LaBouffe.
Yeah.
those guys, man, they just kind of sold that whole genre of, you have that little Western meets Bonnie and Clyde type feel.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think there's a specific term for it, but I'm not that big of a movie buff, but to me, it was an excellent show. I thought it was, probably deserved more.
She's got a new movie that's coming out, right?
Who?
Shia LaBeouf.
I think so. Oh yeah, no, it's Honey Boy, but that's not I think that's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, it's like a series?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a series. I'm sure somebody knows it.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, there you go. Google might know.
Google probably knows.
Yeah. So yeah, Honey Boy has Shia LaBeouf, and man, he does not look healthy anymore.
No.
No.
No,
Dang it.
he kind of looks like Gollum.
That's pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna see if I can find it.
It already came out.
He's a great actor. You know,
he is.
him and Tom Hardy on screen are excellent together. You know, they have that great big brother little brother chemistry going on, and I love Gary Oldman as the kind of the Chicago gangster. He's got the accent and everything. I love Gary Oldman. He's a great actor.
Yeah,
He's the commissioner, right?
It was, sorry,
In Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie that he's coming out with is called The Tax Collector. And he's all tatted up.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm. Comes out in August.
Are you still talking about Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. He in Honey Boy, he looks like he's done a whole lot of drugs, and he's got the cool Harry
Receding
Potter
hairline.
Yeah, he's got the super receding hairline.
Is he supposed to look like that for his character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only
sent it to
ever
you.
see him as Even Stevens. Like, I can't, it's really hard for me to see him as an actual
Same
adult.
here.
Even
Same
Steven,
here.
that was
You too? He's always Even Stevens.
What was Even Steven?
It was a Disney Channel show.
Yep.
Even Stevens. It was him and his sister. Oh gosh, what was her name?
Wow, he does look quite a bit different, huh?
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I don't
But the
think
older
I've
sister
watched
was-
Even Steven. I think
That was like my
predates-
everyday.
I think it's on
Whatever
Disney
they came
Plus.
Oh, of course
Are
it
you
is.
kidding me?
No.
I think
It's like it was kind of like, it was the same time as Malcolm in the Middle, and it was a more cleaned up version of Malcolm in the
yes. Mhm.
But Malcolm in the
Disney
Middle was a
version.
clean version of Malcolm in the Middle.
Middle.
You don't think so?
We
You know what
rewatched
Disney
it.
You know what Disney Channel originally watched like 2 months ago
What's that?
was Brink. Do you remember Brink when it came out? That was probably a little like after y'all's generation, but like when Sarah and I were kids.
It was my generation too. The blonde
Was
haired
it?
boy was my crush. Oh yeah.
Wait,
Brink?
what?
Yeah.
Who was your crush?
Andy Brinker.
Yeah.
Is it about hockey?
No. It's
No, it's about rollerblading.
rollerblading.
So not hockey then.
No.
Oh.
No, and then like
No.
the bad guy had one of those like dimple chins, and like he wasn't that good of a bully. He was kind of a lame bully. It's so cheesy.
In every Disney Channel like original movie, the villain is always tempting the good guy to come on the bad side.
Yeah.
And he always has this moment where he goes, "So are you in? Or are you out?" And then walks away. Like there's a far away and then a close in, and then, "Or are you out?"
It's
And
true.
then every Disney Channel original movie has, not that I've watched a lot of them.
Oh, we watched a lot of them. I
But-
know we have as kids.
The whole reason to
we did.
have
That's
Disney
true.
Plus is so you can be able to catch up on all the Disney shows.
I don't
right?
use Disney Plus as much as you guys do.
The only thing I'd say we watch is probably The Mandalorian on Disney Plus.
So good.
Hamilton on Rick.
Oh, Hamilton.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
we
we
watched
watched that
Another
Hamilton.
good one. Did you guys like Hamilton?
We
Oh,
cried.
yeah.
All of us
Oh
cried.
yeah, no,
All of us have cried.
it is It's really good. I know there's a lot of historical inaccuracies because a lot of people have complained about it on Twitter enough to say that there's historical. Of course, that's where I get all my news is Twitter. I used to do Facebook, but it became too racist for me. Oh.
Yes. Yeah. I just got back on Facebook. Like I jump on occasionally.
Yeah.
But it's just co-opted by so much false information and it's
It is
just
so bad.
It is so bad.
It's really bad.
I used to say that I was just keeping it around so that for business because I did use it for business, but I've like looking backwards, I really didn't receive any business from it. So
wow,
it wasn't worth it. So I've been kind of only showing up a little bit on there too. And it's
the only reason I won't delete my Facebook is because I have literally 10 years of photographs that's I can't, I won't remember where all of them are and I can't scroll down that far. So I'm not.
That's a good point. Yeah, I use the Messenger to keep up with a few people as well, So for a long time I just had the Messenger app, but not Facebook.
Yeah.
And to even keep myself accountable to not overdoing it on social media, I would delete my social media apps so that the only way I could log in is if I went through the browser, which was a horrible platform for social media because they're designed for you to download the app, and that kind of kept me from overdoing it, But Hamilton, I've spent a lot of time this summer actually reading about colonial America and Revolutionary America, and I did quite a bit of reading on Alexander Hamilton himself, not reading like Wikipedia or Twitter, but like books. And there was a lot that was actually pretty as a broad survey was pretty on spot. The big thing was the issue of that slavery was not addressed enough until the very end.
Yeah.
But Lin-Manuel Miranda came out and actually talked about that. He said that's fair. He was the writer, director, and Hamilton himself. Or not, he's not the director. He wrote it, produced it, and he was Hamilton. But he actually came out and said that's fair game. That's fair. But when he wrote it, was sort of this pre-Trump era. And he was talking about how he was like, I actually wrote it when immigration was an issue, and me as an immigrant, Lin-Manuel speaking, he said that this was a big deal to me, and I really identified with him. Had I written it now, I would have written it much differently because the way times have changed. So it was pretty interesting.
That's awesome that you said that, but I still felt like it was still true enough.
Yeah, I don't know how much I would change out of it because
there was a lot that was pretty accurate actually.
Yeah, there was.
It still hit.
I love the fact that Aaron Berg was black. I love the fact, in that show, I know that a lot of the characters rotated and they weren't always the same character, but Thomas Jefferson being black and having a black mistress is like, boom, I love it. It was
the actor for Thomas Jefferson was amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I like the representation of different races as well. I think it's, it matters.
Oh yeah,
it matters.
And there were just so much different types of characters that, and they all worked. And the mere fact that they're like Philip, in Act 1 he's his buddy, and Act 2 is his son. That kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
And having who there was
Two
another
characters.
I think it was not Thomas Jefferson, but there was another character that played. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, it
was one of the sisters. She was deaf as well as.
Yeah, the bullet.
Yes. Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Like the little nuances. Like you start doing a little research.
Now I'm trying to remember the sister's name.
Peggy.
Peggy.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That is it.
Because she says, "And I'm Peggy."
Yes. Have you seen the video where they take the SNL thing where it's and I'm Judy with the arms?
No.
They do that. You gotta. It's so funny. I'll send it to you later. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't seen SNL skits in a long time. I just stopped kind of getting away because they got. I don't know. It got.
Wasn't as funny.
Yeah, this was like late 2000s SNL.
Oh, yeah.
And they put the clip over it. It's just funny. I'll show you later. It's pretty good.
Please do. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Or you could even throw it in the chat if you find it, if you know where it's at, and I can show it. So yeah, I don't know. To me, Hamilton is one of those shows that I think everybody should see.
It's great.
Yeah, it's an excellent. I mean, if you watch it and just watch it, you're going to get sucked in. It's not one of those shows that you can just like walk away from.
It doesn't
Jess
get boring.
has ADHD like no other. All right. Literally, we watched Curse. Okay. Every episode I had to pause it because she had to get up to do something. We were talking about this last week. Okay. She literally had to get up every single episode. I'm like, the episode's only 45 minutes long. She's like, and she's like watching the episode, but still walking around dusting, like, you know, I swear to God, she started cutting the vacuum and, you know, making sure everything's clean. You know, she started ordering parts on Craigslist and everything, but she sat for the full 3 hours of Hamilton. So
Yeah,
if
that's
she
true.
could sit for the full episode of Hamilton, I think that
That's the
show
winner.
is the winner by far.
Yeah.
That's the only show that I've ever seen her actually sit down and not move.
In
Now she
fact,
still knits, like
Yeah.
she has to stay busy, but that's the only show I've ever seen her like literally sit down and not, unless we were stuck in the theater where I had to strap her down to the chair.
Yeah, it's so good. I've always said I never cry, but
Yeah.
I find the more that I say that is evidence that I actually do cry. But I cried, and at the beginning, at the first like 30 minutes, I was just kind of perpetually in tears, and I'd look down, I had goosebumps, and I think most people cried on the second act because everything that happens, but the beginning was just, it's incredible. And I already listened to the soundtrack a few times, and so I was pretty familiar, but once I watched it, I was like, wow. Sarah got to see it at the Pantages Theater in LA.
Really?
She said it was just, she said
that's
it was unreal.
amazing.
I think I would have to go see it live.
So when we were at the hospital last year, every other person that was there had watched it like in one of the theaters. So they had the full experience, and we were like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds so interesting.
Yeah.
We were the clueless kids.
Have you ever seen the TV show Turn?
No.
Oh.
But I know what you're talking about. I've been wanting to watch it. Is that the one with George Washington Spies?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's on my list on Netflix.
Okay, put it up on your list. It's like close to the top because, all right, it's only
pretty
3
good.
seasons, and each season like breaks down how the spies work and all that stuff. But top of the line, man, the way the acting is and the way the red coats come in and try to get into spies and the reason
fun.
I bring that up is because the George Washington where he's talking to Alexander Hamilton and he's like, telling him like son and this and that. He talks to the spies the same way, and I just like there was like a correlation. I was like, oh yeah, I'm in it because of that. Like I watched every episode of Turn twice because it was just so good. Yeah, it was just so good. And they, with the showrunners of Turn, from what I understand, the writers tried to make sure it was as accurate as possible. Like when there's an episode where Benjamin Franklin is teaching somebody how to paint secret messages on eggs. And you like, oh, that's so cool. I got to do it. And then you find out that Benjamin Franklin actually used spectacles to be able to see secret messages and stuff like that.
That's why they were invented? Because he's an inventor in spectacles, right?
Yeah, he's national
because
treasure.
Bifocals. Yep.
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin is probably my favorite founding father. And one of the cool things about him is that he's actually one of the first ever like international, like well-known men of genius, because he was known all over the world.
Yeah.
He was particularly in France and England, he lived in France for a long time, but he was like, he was a genius, absolute genius, and I love Ben Franklin.
Yeah. He's definitely, in my opinion, he's probably one of the most intelligent forefathers that we had. So
hey, we didn't do like the good thing that happened this week.
Okay, what happened?
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Does everybody have a thing?
I have
like
a thing.
something good that was
I most definitely have something. Okay, you want to start off, Chris?
Sure. Yeah. My good thing was attitude is so important. Perspective and mindset is so important, especially right now. There's so much to be concerned about. so much to be said about. But we've actually got into, this is what we do. Like, this is the week where we do what's called a summer institute at work. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a 6th grade teacher, and I work at a pretty big district in town, and we do a summer training. Normally it's voluntary, but if you do go, you get paid.
Yeah.
Normally it's 2 days, and it's kind of like summer camp for teachers, where you see all your friends that you saw from the last one.
Hi, teacher.
Yeah, it's funny. It really is like that, and it's a fun experience. They make it really fun. We get gifts and stuff. But this year they're doing it over 2 weeks, and you kind of can pick and choose what sessions you go to.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm there every day. It's more like I had 4 this week and then 3 next week, and they're all kind of, they're 2-hour sessions that are on different days. And so there's a lot of, I have a lot of teacher friends, obviously, and a lot of them are pretty worried and pretty stressed out, and as well as parents and students from what I've heard. But I have been so excited just to be back at work this week, training and even talking to other teachers and learning. And I love learning. I'm really enthusiastic about learning.
Yeah.
And so that's been my good thing, is just training and just that attitude shift of like, man, there's a lot to be bummed about right now, but I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to still do the best that I can and grow as much as I can, and still do the best I can for my students and for my school.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah, and so I've just been trying to be like, you know what, like there's still opportunity. I'm at home more. I'm going to be at home more. I have plenty of opportunity to plan and dream. So my good thing's just been getting back to work and just kind of feeling that shift. And they've done a lot of work too with the support staff to try to like instill positivity and everything.
I'm so glad, because it's needed.
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
They've even had like fun music playing, during the training and stuff. So it's like,
so
it's cool.
I used to be a door-to-door salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
And I was awful. I was an awful human being.
I tried sales. I was terrible. Not good at sales.
Oh, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I would come up to your door if I had, if I was able to open your door, if I had that type of, I was able to talk to you, I most likely talked you into something you didn't need. I was that guy.
Skill.
Yeah, no, there's definitely that there's those type of people that have that capability. I didn't know how I did it, but I managed to make it work. And before we went out there, like we used to meet at the McDonald's, and somebody would like bring some music or something like that on the boombox. Yeah, CD baby, lock it in, and then you start pumping it up. You get that feeling like, all right, let's, everybody's clapping.
That's cute.
And once you have the energy pumped up, you're like, all right, let's go take it. And then you head out and knock on some doors, and you have your walking buddy, and just like get all pumped up.
But it worked, huh?
Oh yeah, no, every time.
Music makes a difference.
I'll
tell you, I did cold calls one time,
Mm-hmm.
where you just had like a inventory of random numbers you were calling, and if you want to see the absolute worst side of humanity, you do cold call sales, man. It was just like,
I'm so sorry. I am such a
I did not last.
person.
Yeah, I don't think I could do the cold calls. I had a friend of mine. That's what he did. He was like, oh, but then that dude would not, his mental illness just dropped.
Yeah,
it's so
they
draining.
yell that all the time.
Yeah, I am not very good with people calling me. I'm probably the worst person to call because I will take whatever time that you are given to have that phone call, and I will use all of it. I will use every bit of it. We will have a conversation
about everything.
I will start like you're gonna start stuttering, and then you're gonna hanging up on me. I'm not hanging up on you. I'm not gonna hang up on you. That's just not me. That's not my style.
It's pretty bad. I just roll my eyes and walk away at this point.
No, it's kind of bad.
Not me. I'm just like, I can't talk right.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll be with Jess, and she'll just she'll see me start talking. She's like, just hang up. I'm like, no, they called me.
They wanted to talk to me.
Are they talking to you? No. All right, they're talking to me. Let it be. Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of fun when I get cold calls and stuff like that, and You know, I wish I could be like as cool as Tom Mabe. Have you ever heard of his cold calls?
Do you
No.
have a thing?
No.
Oh my goodness! I want to see.
this week.
I don't know if I can play it, but Tom Mabe, he does these cold calls where he basically like he'll be like a detective or something like that, and he's like, "You're calling a murder scene. Was he your lover?" Making that person uncomfortable. And yeah, you know, and then he records it and plays it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like he just basically makes that guy. No, I live in Georgia. How could I? Well, you know, you could have drove here last night. Yeah. Anyway,
I love pranks and prank calls. Man, I'm a sucker for those.
you remember
like, especially.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say especially fart pranks on YouTube. Those are my
Oh,
favorite.
gosh.
Man. Those are my favorite.
I definitely need to be informed before someone calls me.
Oh, I can't do that.
What was your good thing this week, babe?
Oh, my good thing this week was I've been going back to work, so I've been waking up early again and stuff like that. And so
Leaving
basically,
me all alone.
yeah, I mean, there's a downside to it, but the upside is we're getting a little bit more consistent at work, which, you know, I know with everything else going on in the world, it's still difficult. But for me, I need the work to keep going. So
Yeah.
that was my good thing is I'm finally actually showing up to work again.
Yeah.
Feels good, huh?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it feels great for me.
Yeah.
It does feel good, but like also it was cold turkey. I had him for 2 months here, and
Yeah.
like I had help with dishes and feeding the dogs, and
Now I don't do any of that anymore.
now I'm back to doing it all by myself. And like the kids sleep in because it's summertime. So guess
Oh,
who I'm
trust
talking
me, I'm
to?
awake at 7 a.m.
But yeah, but you stay in your room till like 10 or 11.
Mhm.
So who do I talk to in those hours?
I'm
The
Right.
walls.
I'm like absolutely awake at 7 a.m. You can just come into
To be
my
fair,
room and
when I
say,
was-
"Come talk to me."
When I was
And I will
here,
come.
she didn't talk to me either. So
What? That's a lie.
she just knew I was here, and it was just easier.
Your presence is enough.
The presence, yeah. No, there was no conversation. It was just
Full
like,
hockey.
oh,
We talk so much.
stay in the corner. I don't want to see you. I haven't had my coffee yet.
Oh, whatever. Actually, I drink less coffee over quarantine than
Oh.
normal. That was weird. But my good thing this week is we finally were able to adopt our dog.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Bunny,
Bunny.
She's officially ours.
Bunny Holly.
congratulations.
Bunny,
Thanks.
Bunny Holly.
She is
Exciting.
a total terror right now. Like, I think she's like, wow, the adoption papers are signed. It's for reals. Let's eat everything. So that's been and she loves to like take. We have like the pile of wood for fire pits and
Yeah.
stuff. She
Yeah.
takes the pieces of wood off of that and brings them into the house and chews them to shreds.
Oh
Oh
no.
my gosh, I'm so.
She
tired
just
of
make
picking
it
up
wood chips
logs.
for you guys. That's all.
Yes, which goes right into the robot vacuum,
Mm-hmm.
which we need because we
Oh.
have 6 dogs. Holy crud!
Yeah.
The vacuum doesn't like wood chips.
The vacuum doesn't
Perhaps-
like wood chips or dog hair or dogs
or
me.
Or
Number 2
me, it's
accidents.
terrifying. I hate it.
Yeah, it always gets your feet.
Yeah. Ab, do you have anything good this week?
I became half snake.
Half snake. Slytherin?
No,
You're finally a Slytherin?
I'm not Slytherin.
All right. What can you describe what is half snake?
I am half snake. That is all you need to know.
You're Ravenclaw, right?
Yeah, I'm Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Your responses were very Ravenclaw.
Were they?
Yes.
They're like, ew, no.
Ravenclaw's
not
like
that.
witty and like right? Isn't Ravenclaw witty? Witty
Yeah.
and wise and
Yeah.
yeah.
I hear Bradley laughing. Oh man, he's loud.
All right.
What are you, Chris? I don't remember.
I'm Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. That's right, same as
The
me.
best one. I mean, what else would you expect from me?
Slytherin.
What is your secondary?
Oh, I don't even know.
Oh,
I know.
Ab says that I am Gryffindor, Hufflepuff.
I am
Gryffindor.
I'm
Griffin Puff.
Raven. I'm Ravenpuff.
Yeah, you are. Very much.
Yeah, Sarah and I are both Gryffindor.
Really?
Yeah, everyone on your side of the family is Gryffindor.
Yeah, I am too. It's a Smith thing.
I guess so. I mean, there was only, they were only the, protagonists in the movie most of the time. So in the books, so.
Dad's a Slytherin.
I'm the best.
Are you really a Slytherin?
I'm really a Slytherin.
Yes, he's a Slytherin.
Yeah.
And me and Bradley are both Ravenclaws. He's like the stereotypical Ravenclaw. Though.
All I know is Slytherin is the best house. We had a parcel tongue prior to anybody because we're Slytherin. Snecky. All right.
Okay, what you got? Scotland?
Yep. Scotland is going to be the first country in the nation. Wait. Okay. Go back over there. Scotland is the first country with a national LGBTQ inclusive curriculum.
Right on.
Yep.
Wow. You don't think about that, but it's not something that anyone sees in
we haven't
books.
In the U.S. we really haven't had a whole lot of movement and bringing LGBT. I know years ago
there's secular and non-secular, but there's not really like inclusive.
Exactly. I know years ago there was a Princess and the Princess, or there was some type of book, and man, did it get blown out of proportion. I remember that because my family got hysterical about why are they teaching this, and then
your family did.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's definitely one of those. So Scotland is actually going to start teaching this in the fall. They will be making history to be the first to integrate LGBTQ plus education into a student curriculum for all public schools. So
that is
everyone in Scotland is going to start learning about LGBT, which in my opinion, I think is great.
Yeah. Our kids have it. Like, one of our children had sex ed this year, and it was kind of like through a Zoom call with a one-on-one teacher. The class was supposed to be much larger, but Bradley was the only one that ever showed up.
Yeah. So
he kept his video and volume on mute so that he would just type his answers to the teacher.
I would too.
He was so nervous. Like, I had to leave the room because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah.
That's so sad, huh? I'm the worst. But he did a good job, but it did include LGBT friendly information and like inclusive AIDS information.
Yeah.
For like not just straight people. It was pretty cool.
Well, yeah. The thing that they're calling this one is TIE, right? It's going to be the Time for Inclusive Education. I don't know if it's directly at sexual education,
but like everything.
But yeah, everything.
That's so good.
I didn't even know what LGBTQ was until last year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I know Kris was gonna say a little bit of things about this. So
yeah, I have a couple. Like I have a few. I've had multiple students who even in middle school who are LGBTQ plus. I have a good friend at my district who we actually have a teacher who I don't know if it's a paid position or I think she gets like a stipend, but she's actually our I don't know her official title, but she's like the district resource person for LGBTQ plus issues, and so she actually does trainings with teachers and with district people, and so our district's actually done a lot.
That's so
there is in America, one of the things is that there's a lot of autonomy in education that people don't understand, and I didn't understand until I started teaching. And that there's a lot, depending on where you're teaching, what district you're in, what city you're in. But I know for me, I have a lot of freedom in my classroom to teach different things. Districts and even individual schools have a lot of autonomy to be able to adjust curriculum and change it. And so
awesome.
sometimes it's like nationwide curriculum is kind of almost like, mythical. Like you don't really see it as much. You have standards. But those are even state by state basis. So one of the, because I spent the last 2 years teaching history and science. This year I'm teaching self-contained. So I have one 6th grade class all day, but something with history is it's important to teach the whole of history.
Yeah.
And what I worry about is with censorship, with
Yes.
LGBTQ plus issues.
Well, yeah.
Because it's like we have to teach that this is a part of history. You can't censor an entire group of people from history. You have to be able to teach these things. It's a part of what it is. I took an online college history class this summer, and that was part of the it was the U.S. history class, and there we actually discussed in different times in history in the U.S. of LGBTQ plus issues.
Really, that's amazing.
Yeah.
People try to exclude us.
That was such a teenage answer.
Yeah, because I know, like, we were talking about. I think we were talking about last week about the Stonewall. And how a lot of people, because there was a trans thing going around, but like Stonewall was set up by by the trans community to be like an area for everybody. And then, government got involved and people who didn't like it were uncomfortable and,
yeah. And
there she
unfortunately
wrote.
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite topics.
Yeah. And, representation and normalization are so important.
Yeah.
Right. So even if you think about race, do all the class books have white children in them and the illustrations?
Mm-hmm.
That representation of different ethnicities is so important, but we've largely ignored it when it comes to gender or sexual orientation issues. We've just kind of brushed it aside, and that representation is so important. I think it's actually led to a normalization of bullying for probably the group that I've read statistics that it's the group that has some of the highest self-harm rates. Is those who are LGBTQ plus, because there's a lot of bullying, there's a lot of shaming, a lot of problems, and that representation in the curriculum is so important to be able to say, hey, I matter, I'm part of this, I can see myself in history or myself in this book. I'm important, and you normalize it to create safety for them. So for example, one of my rules is I do not allow students to say that's gay, like in a negative term.
Yeah.
Or like, man, quit being so gay. There's a lot of that still exists. And and my students know they can't say it around me. And I go through a whole thing with them where I say, this is hurtful. How would you, and I asked a student one time, how would you feel if you identified as this, if this was you, and then someone had used that term in a negative way to describe something, and they kind of like took a second and they thought about it, and they're like, man, that would make me really mad. I wouldn't like that at all.
Exactly.
That's good.
And so I said, then you probably shouldn't say that anymore, because you could apply it, if you applied that to an ethnicity, you would be really upset about it, but for some reason you feel okay doing that with someone's sexual identity, their sexual orientation. But the thing is it's normalized, so they're doing things that they don't know. So as an educator, for me, it's like, okay, that's what we do. I'm not going to sit here and shame them or bully them into doing the right thing. It's to educate, to open their minds, and to teach them about those things. So that's something I have a few teachers, including the one who I said was the resource specialist, who are themselves LGBTQ plus, or talk a lot about it. I've asked them, like, hey, how can I make my classroom inclusive or safe?
Yeah.
And so the curriculum is a big part of that, to be able to see that I'm represented in this is normalized, this is safe for other students to see that. It'll encourage them to bully less. I always think about that Mandela quote, that's education is I think he says the greatest weapon in which you can change the world. And it's like that, you got to do that, it's so important.
And you talk about censorship, and we were talking about how, like, in our history books, there's a lot of censorship. You go into like just into the way people are being treated, the slave trades and all that stuff.
Like same for LGBT, like a lot of leaders and kings and queens were gay, and it was washed away.
Yeah, there was a known fact that what King James was, a closeted homosexual, and it's like the why was there such a fear? And it goes back all the way to the end of times, right?
Beginning of times.
Well,
we haven't gotten to the other side.
AD starts at 0, so it goes backwards from BC. So it starts with the end and then starts going.
It's all confusing. I hate explaining that to kids in history because we talk about prehistory and ancient history in 6th grade, and having to explain them the timeline, they're just like, I don't get it. How is that a later date when the number is smaller? I'm like,
yeah, I had a hard time with it as a kid.
There was an episode of the dinosaurs. You remember that where they were?
Yes.
The mama.
And one of the dinosaurs goes, "Why are we always counting down? All right, it was 11 BC last year. Now it's 10 BC. Like, why are we counting down?" It's like,
that's really funny. It's kind of one of those.
That show didn't age well.
No.
No.
Neither did Fraggle Rock. But it was, there's, since the beginning of time, there's always been, inner relationships to the point where, their historical scholars have been able to identify. And I was reading something literally yesterday about how Abe Lincoln also had a charismatic fellow that we used to sleep in with him and his wife.
Really?
Yes.
So I just read about this.
You did?
Yeah, because I'm reading Team of Rivals, which is one of the most exhaustive biographies of Lincoln and his cabinet, or 3 people in his cabinet in particular. But so men during this time, during the 19th century, were much, much more verbally affectionate. So they would write letters to each other that were almost like borderline like romantic or very loving, but that was very normalized, and it wasn't considered even like sexual between them. It was just how men spoke,
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. And then another thing was he was a traveling, he's a circuit lord, and he was traveling, and they had very small contained spaces. So he regularly, men regularly shared beds together.
Yeah.
So that was pretty common.
Oh, I was reading that this was actually in the White House. This is when he was president. Yeah. His wife would stay sometimes on the other side of the White House and then it would just be him and a male mate sleeping in the same quarters. But, who knows unless you're actually in that bed, right?
Right.
You don't know.
People would say, they would ask, Pete Buttigieg when he was running, how would you feel about being the first gay president? He's like, well, the first that we know of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, from what I understand, there was actually 2 presidents that were closeted homosexuals, which is, hold on a second. Go ahead. Yeah, there. Jess is getting some more water right now.
Well, can you get me some?
Yeah.
But yeah, it
It says.
But with Scotland, what they're doing, I think is actually really cool, because by bringing it into the forefront and teaching about it, they're talking about how Scotland is supposed to be one of the most they actually wrote it in here. Scotland legalized same-sex marriage in 2014. They're probably one of the most progressive countries in the European Union. So, they actually had, they were one of the first countries, like I said, and now doing this, they're going to help normalize the LGBT community. And I think that just normalizing it will help prevent things like what happened with the teenager here in Bakersfield. We were talking about that last week. The mother was on Instagram, and that child was hurt for no reason other than being a trans child. So I think if we can normalize it, we can prevent incidents like that.
Yeah.
However,
and education's a big part of it, man, and that's it's huge. It's good that they're doing that.
Yeah. And then
in Scotland,
yeah, in Scotland, yeah. I mean, it's gonna take a minute for the rest of the world to come about. The U.S. is probably the one that's going to have the hardest time because everybody's so individualized. Even like we were talking about earlier today, how there's state rights, right? People were fighting over, let the states decide, and it's state rights. And now with these, like Portland, what's going on with Portland, the federal, government's getting involved in that. And they're like, well, that's what the federal government's there for. Like, what? Like, no. You can't have state rights and then you can't request federal. You can't do both, man.
It doesn't work when it's convenient for you.
No.
That's not how that goes.
No, not at all. So
I saw a tweet today that said America is currently the Florida of the world. That's pretty funny.
That is accurate.
Man, Australia lost the role, huh?
Oh,
we snagged it.
No, yeah. That is honestly the truth right now. It's sad.
That was a very astute observation.
Yeah. Florida man.
Florida man.
That's one of Bradley's favorite things.
It's pretty sad when a whole country is blackballed from going to other countries.
Right.
It's falling.
Uh-oh.
We'll say your immigration policy for you. Just stay home.
Hey, love, the whole thing is falling.
Yeah, you have to tighten the bracket.
I will. If I'm holding this one, I can't, unfortunately. Okay. I'm sorry.
We're having some technical difficulties.
As always.
That's okay.
My mic is falling down.
Okay.
It's not a podcast if that doesn't happen.
Yeah, right? We'll just leave this in the show. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be in the show anyway.
Okay, now put that back on.
Okay. And we have to tighten that.
It won't go right now.
Do.
All right, perfect.
Don't mind me.
Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that.
Abs, don't pull it, please.
Don't pull it, please.
It's still falling.
Okay. 1 second, Chris.
That's okay. Take your time.
I'm not good at fixing things. This is why I keep him.
Nice.
We turned off her mic, but you can still hear it on the other ones. Doink.
This is normal.
I think it's because we moved the mics around the other day. Hey.
Is it a hanging stand where it comes in like this?
It's called an arm.
Hi.
Yeah, we have.
It's like an arm.
Someone's
plant.
arm. They're just kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Pretty much
this
just like
this arm, and
Oh, sweet. Those are nice.
they're supposed to keep the mics in place, but when people, when we're done for the day, we
Is my mic
push them back to the table so we can be able to walk through and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Can I have my mic on?
Okay,
Turn the mic on.
there you go.
Okay. Yay! You can hear me now.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I think it's excellent that Scotland's doing it. However, then we have Russia.
Oh no.
Did you see the new Will Ferrell movie?
Oh, have you seen the new
It's super
the
gay.
Eurovision or Euro?
I've watched about like a quarter of it, but what I did watch, I did like. It was a very cute movie.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan.
So
but
they
it was good.
blatantly like make Russia out to be
Anti-gay.
and they put so many gay references in there.
Oh.
It was really awesome.
It's like, oh, I'm a man from Russia, but I'll never find love. Not the love I want.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was awesome.
I gotta finish it.
Oh yeah. No, and you heard about what happened in Russia, right? I think I sent you that.
I read it.
Yeah, Russia, it moves to ban gay marriages. They've already passed several laws this last year where they're you can't display that you're gay to children. You can be arrested for that. And then they did something else recently where the Russian family code legally will ban gay marriages, adoptions, or anything to do with transgendered people can also be arrested. So they are
Wow.
really like going back in time.
Mhm.
And this new bill is basically going to end the practice of marriage between a person of the same sex, including changed genders. So we were talking about last week how there was a which I can't remember now. They literally changed the law to say two persons.
I feel like it was Scotland.
No, I don't think it was Scotland. I think it was
Oh crap.
Sweden?
yeah, I think it was Sweden. Yeah, Sweden changed the law to instead of identify man and woman, or they changed it to two persons to include the transgendered community, or the pansexual, or what's the other all the other ones that identify by something else. Other
I can
than-
probably name a lot. Okay.
Let's not do that.
But it was
You're
changed to
challenging
be
me.
inclusive.
Yeah, it was changed to be inclusive, and now Russia is going straight up, going in reverse on this, and they are. So in 2013, Russia passed a law criminalizing homosexuality. It says right here, 20 years after decriminalizing sexuality, they passed a law that says gay propaganda towards minors has to be shut down. And the American embassy on Russian soil 2 weeks ago put up a pride flag
Oh my goodness.
in protest. So somebody over there is
Wow.
it's got our back. Russia was pissed. They were pissed. So
I tend to think generally if you make Russia mad, you're probably doing all right.
yeah, well,
I don't know how you would not make them mad.
Right. Yeah, it's very unfortunate,
Mhm.
I mean they have totalitarianism is something that happens oftentimes in modern times very slow.
yeah.
It's rare that there's just a revolution and an uprising anymore, and just boom, and that's what they've had over the
Well, I mean, he just
during
passed,
this time.
what was it, last year? He just passed something to where he can be the foreseeable president forever.
It was last week.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
last week it passed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I
Holy crap,
know.
that's terrifying.
He last year he started steps towards it, and like he was doing it to where the campaign, or not the campaign, but the political group that he's part of can't be removed from office. And then he had all these extra steps, and everybody's like, well, you just have to vote for it. Now he literally cannot be. He's a goddamn dictator again. So
Yeah.
I had no idea. I
Yeah.
tend to not go too far down the rabbit hole.
well, it's kind of
Yeah, I mean, if you have a authoritarian type of control like that, you can just kind of bend things to your will and your personal preferences, and just kind of throw individual liberty out the window. And that's why having proper democratic representation and checks and balances in government important, so that one person one branch or one person doesn't have too much control. But it's unfortunate, and I feel bad for I feel a lot of empathy for those who are in Russia who are having to deal with that, especially those to whom this law affects. It's very
Because I imagine it's similar to every other country where there's just an underground of people who are too afraid, or too it's too terrifying to live their experience.
Right.
Well, I mean,
can't speak up
how do
because
you
you're
live in
voting.
a world where you are being arrested for being who you are? That kind of world, that's 1970s of US, that world doesn't exist anymore. Like, it's not supposed to. I understand, there are certain
unfortunately it does.
communities, and it
happens here in our community.
Oh no, it does. There's still laws on the books in the U.S. that makes homosexuality a criminal offense, and a lot of them are being written out. A lot of them are being changed, but they're still in effect. They could still try to bring them.
They can flip them in an instant.
Well, the Supreme Court has been really good about fighting, and especially recently, for trans rights and for legalization for the LGBT community. There are certain things like the baker with the cake thing. I understand both sides of it. Like all right, if you have your preferences for your beliefs and you don't believe in that, you don't have to be a dick. But that baker also said, that's my creative aspects, and I don't have to create something, but I can give you something that's stock. I understand that. Like, hey, I give you an option. I don't want to make something for you. Let God judge them in the afterlife. But
I hold business people in Bakersfield to a higher standard, I suppose.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
with
I think it's hard to legislate with a business. Like, obviously discrimination, you cannot discriminate. You just cannot.
Yeah, exactly.
But just to a human moral and spiritual sense, it's like, and even an economic standpoint, it's the wrong decision. It just is. So it's like you're not helping. You're not helping at all. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's so that's our LGBT news this week. But there's some good stuff. Scotland, like blowing it out the water. Russia, you're going backwards, man. Mm-hmm. You guys need to stop. So I don't know if you guys heard about the barista that refused to serve a patron
because they wouldn't wear a mask. Same one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
The Karen of all Karens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so people came together to help this barista raise money. Like they created a virtual tip jar for her, and they were able to raise $100,000 in tips for this
That's
barista.
Awesome.
Yeah. However, with Karen Powers, there's always a want.
So she wanted half of it, is what the news said.
Yeah.
Or the story said.
Yeah. So
did she get it?
I doubt that she got it, but
good.
Here, Kris, I'm going to play this audio for you.
Great.
She posted this photo of barista Lennon Gutierrez after he asked her to wear a mask at Starbucks. The caption reads, "Meet Lennon
Can you hear
Starbucks who refused to serve me because I'm not wearing a mask. Next time I will wait for cops that bring a medical exemption." That post exploded online. Then a GoFundMe for tip money for the barista surpassed $100,000. Gillis says she has medical problems, but also says masks are not effective.
One of them, I get shortness of breath, dizziness, and it messes with the heartbeat. And I do have asthma as well. So I do get maskne. So there's several things going on, and not only that, it doesn't even work.
She did share 2 pieces of paperwork to show what she calls a medical exemption. This 2015 doctor's report she shared shows analysis of her uterus and an ovarian cyst, and this handwritten note with the San Diego chiropractor's letterhead that she asked us not to show says she has, quote, underlying health conditions that prevent her from wearing a mask. She says her post about the experience is a First Amendment right.
It was discrimination, and everybody's okay with it, and enabling and reporting that kind of behavior.
And she says she wants half of the more than $100,000 donated, which was given to the barista in cash last week.
I don't care if he gave it to Lennon. I'm going to sue him for half of it.
She says the lawyers she's spoken to about taking her case are expensive and she can't afford one yet, so she started her own GoFundMe to raise
money. Oh my God.
When asked if she has any apology or message to the public.
No, absolutely not. I feel like I need the apology. I've been discriminated against. I'm the one who's sick.
ABC 10 News.
She's embarrassed is what she means.
She's an idiot. Yeah.
She's a mask hole. I read
a good one.
I read about this on I follow the New Yorker magazine Instagram because they post a lot of like political, or just not even political cartoons, just cartoons that are funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they posted this one. It's a mask hole. An individual who wears a mask in a way that makes it completely ineffective, such as below the nose, under the chin, or on the back of the head. They're a mask hole.
We were at Home Depot today, and a guy was wearing it just over his nose.
Yeah, he literally just had it like over
his nose.
Over the nose.
The bottom of his mouth was completely open. I'm like, I can't even.
Like,
it's just too funny.
Did it wrong, man. Yeah.
What is your problem, man?
Congratulations.
No,
That's
A
fantastic.
mask hole. Holy crap, that's good.
Sorry to be TMI, but my ovarian cysts have never prevented anything. They just hurt really bad.
Well, I'm trying to figure out where that is in the respiratory system.
It's not.
As not a doctor,
I was not a doctor.
I can tell you right now that the ovarian cysts are all over the lungs because you breathe them in.
This could go down a path that could just be really bad.
I know.
I'm like hitting the stop button on the brain right now.
I don't understand. Like, the ovarian, like, are there people with asthma that have limited breathing?
Yes. Yeah. So like we have a relative who has COPD and they definitely cannot wear a mask. So, pardon me.
But even at that, if you have COPD,
you would want to be protected from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're at risk. And so you want to be protected from it, first of all. And you're probably, if I had COPD, I wouldn't be leaving the house right now.
No.
Exactly.
You'd be isolating yourself. Mm-hmm. There's so many delivery services that can be able to take food from a store and bring it to you.
Tahoe Joe's steak sandwich is so good delivered.
Oh. There's like Postmates and there's, all I'm saying is there's so, like, if this was to happen 20 years ago, I can understand, like, I have to go to the store. But we're in a world where there's an app downloaded to your phone, and you can't tell me that all these people don't have some type of smartphone or internet.
Yeah.
There
are people who don't. However, there's still availability. And then there's, like, safer hours. They still have those. I feel like most stores still have the safe hours. Anyhow.
Yeah. But there are capabilities that allow...
I do want to remind you that we're at about an hour.
Okay.
So
right.
We've gotten off track a couple times.
That's fine.
That's okay. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I have that effect on people.
I knew I was like, this is going to be a 2-hour show. I can feel it.
That's fine. I'll break it up and put part 1, part 2.
Oh, I'm a talker. I've had to restrict myself this whole time. I can just go.
Oh, no. Please,
I love it.
Please don't restrict yourself. But this person is claiming that because of her First Amendment rights, she should be able to rights. It says that she should be entitled to 50% of and she's going to get a lawyer. Lawyer. We're going to get a good lawyer, and she's going to be. I've been discriminated against.
I think she's just embarrassed.
Yeah. I think, in the midst of a pandemic, especially in a privately owned business, you go into the business respecting their rules and laws. And I used to do food safety auditing, right? So there's a level of safety and respect you have to have when you go into a food establishment, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And especially if it's a private business, if they have rules that have to do with safety, you should respect those rules.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. You don't want to put that business at risk of losing their opportunity to be open. Like, don't let them get a ticket or a fine.
We had a local
exactly,
a local restaurant down the street from us, and that there was an older gentleman who couldn't stay out in the heat.
No, it was raining. It was
raining. Sorry, raining. Couldn't stay out there because the weather was bad. So they were like, look, we're not going to force you to stay out there. Come in. We'll sit at the booth. We'll clean the booth later. Don't worry about it. We don't want you to be injured or hurt or anything. Just come. Some Karen straight up took a picture of that and sent it to the public health, and they were
shut down.
Yeah,
it was when everything was pretty closed.
And I think they had a difficulty. I don't even know if they've bounced back, like if they were even allowed to open up yet. So there's we were talking about earlier about compassion and how people need to be better at nicer to each other and stuff like that.
Well, you kind of talked about individualization earlier, and that's something I've really been thinking about a lot. I read this one book called The Common Good, and it was talking about how you know, at a legislative level, at a cultural level, societal, family, and all these different areas, we've become so individualized, where we kind of embrace the Gordon Gekko idea of greed is good. Like it's all about me and making myself better and acquiring more for me. And if it doesn't affect you, or no, if it doesn't affect me, then I'm not going to bother with it. But as soon as it affects me, I'm going to throw a fit about it, right? Yes. And we don't think about how our actions, our behaviors, our attitudes affect other people, because we believe the good thing, the right thing to do is to be so focused on ourselves. And we teach that. Like we it's like, just, you know, do what's best for you. But really that doesn't work, because if you're doing that, you're going to do things that are going to hurt other people. And we've had periods of time in this country where we were really focused on the common good and looking out for what was best for each other, as opposed to what was always best for us. Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it. I've been like thoroughly disappointed in some of the response where we have not been able to unify around this fight against the pandemic. Instead, we've become focused on ourselves. And I'm not worried about, you know, about this person or that person or us getting through this together. I'm worried about me.
Rights.
Yeah, and you know, and it's like, you have to look beyond that and understand, you know what, the best thing for you, in all honesty, is to live as a person who has honor and respect and cares about the common good, that makes decisions that's based on what is the best thing for society, for my community, for my family, for my world. What is the best thing? And the other thing is, I mean, if we do this right, this could be temporary.
There are a lot of everyone else.
It could have gone down like many other countries.
You know, there's a lot of people coming out. I know the director of the CDC said if everyone was wearing masks, we could really get through this in about 4 to 8 weeks. There's a lot of countries that are going back to school, and they're going back to school because they had contact tracing. They wore masks. Citizens were in it, you know, and they had a nationwide plan to test and take care of these things. But because we haven't, we can't go back to school. We can't open up businesses because we keep screwing up in how we do it, you know? So I think a big part of it is I wear a mask to stop the spread, but also because it's the right thing to do, but also because I care about my fellow citizens. Yes. And I want to make sure they're safe. So that's important, man. You
were talking about contact tracing, and I know like Apple and Google came together and they were trying to do this anonymized contact tracing to be able to, you know, help show the hot spots and, you know, help like if somebody was, you know, possibly near somebody. And everybody was freaking out about this, man. You know, oh, Apple's trying to, you know, find out where and
sell our information.
Well, that information's out there. They, you know, so people freaking out about nothing. And then like Apple really did a good job. Apple and Google came together to make sure that the government couldn't like use that information, which I thought was I thought that was really cool. Like they really thought about privacy, and privacy was a key thing. So I made sure that my phone had that on. Like I wanted to do it. However, because I don't go to a Dignity Health, you know, and I don't have all this other, like it wouldn't connect to any of my primary care physicians. So like, like I turned it on. I'm like, yeah, no, heck yeah. I want to know if I'm near somebody, you know, like I want to get tested if I am, you know, as somebody who hasn't been tested yet, because in fear if I get tested, my company already told me if you get tested, you have to take 14 days off. I'm like,
oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't want to get tested.
Like they've had it, his company's been touched.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
So I don't want to get tested as a precautionary thing because in fear that I'll automatically have 14 days off without pay. You know, it's not just, oh, you have 14 days off. It's 14 days off with no money, nothing coming in. And that's a scary time right now. So
yeah, for sure.
Self-isolation had been key. You know, I've been doing a lot more streaming on Twitter and stuff like that.
We've been pretty freaking bored at home.
Yeah, dude, I get bored being at home. Like
it's too hot to like go.
You can't go
hiking.
You can't go hiking right now.
Even do outside work.
Even when the
one thing. So the one thing I've found I've been able to do is I've discovered that a lot of the county golf and municipal golf courses are really strict.
Mm-hmm.
And golfing is something you can do socially distanced. And so
Nice.
when I go in and I go to like get my golf cart, I go do all those things. I have my mask on. They have sanitizer everywhere. They're sanitizing everything.
Yeah.
And then once you get on the golf course, especially if you just go by yourself, I'm not golfing with anybody. There's no one around.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Right
outdoors, and if there's anyone around, I'll put a mask on. But I'll go early in the morning to beat the heat. But that's the one thing that's kind of kept me sane throughout this pandemic, because without that, I would just be losing my mind.
When all this started, like I was like, well, screw it, man, I'm going to go on hikes. But then they shut down all the trails.
Yep.
And I was like, the only trails that you can get on were private, and I don't know anybody that owns those private lands, And so I was like, oh man, I got to figure out something else to do. So I just made my man cave more manlier with the rainbow flag, because I was like, all right, I'm going to learn guitar. These two.
You've been learning guitar?
I'm trying, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I think we talked about this recently. I think I remember talking about that.
I think we talked about it at the 4th of July party. Both of these are broken. They can't be used. We went to Guitar Center to go get new strings for them.
Giggled.
And they said, you put any more tension on that bridge, they're going to snap and break you. So I got this one. It's a Martin. And I was like, okay, I'm going to learn this one. Well, I still haven't figured out the finger coordination, but at least it looks good in the background.
It does. It looks great. You look like you play guitar.
And
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You look like you play guitar.
I got my musical instrument, and then I got the tattoo, and now it all fits. So it's a persona that I have to hold on to. So then I started watching Star Trek. So first thing I do is I put my Star Wars toys up.
Yeah, I like your Star Wars. I have Star Wars pets here too. Check this out. I got Chewie. I got BB-8.
Oh
Nice.
man.
I got Rey.
Hey, you both nice. You both have Star Wars pets.
Yeah.
And I got old Han Solo.
I got young Han Solo.
Dude, he got his at the dollar store.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wasn't the
Sarah
dollar store.
gave these to
It was
me
like
for
$5.
Christmas or something. Nice.
But yeah,
I also have a Captain America.
Oh,
And
cool.
then
Is that your favorite Marvel?
Another one. No, he's like my least favorite actually.
really?
Oh, wow.
But people, no, he's cool. I like him. I'm pretty neutral on him. I like Iron Man better than him.
Mhm.
But I've always been a Spider-Man guy. I love Spider-Man.
Me too.
Man, Abs is a Spider-Man guy.
I love the Batman films, and a big part of that is Batman has the best villains.
That's true.
He really does.
The best villains.
He really
easy.
does.
The best villains. And Spider-Man has great villains too, but he's like quite a ways below, like the Batman. They call it the Rogue Gallery or whatever.
Yeah. Well, last
He
week
has
I
the
was
best.
I was talking to Jess, and I was like, okay, what's your favorite female superhero?
Yeah, that's what we
Right.
talked about last week.
And neither one of them knew. who
Yeah, I don't
she-
have a favorite female. None of them are up to par in what I think my brain.
Yeah, and I was like,
can
what
hear the
about
guinea pigs.
what about Captain Marvel? And they're like, no.
No.
I was like,
I like Captain Marvel because she is so freaking bad. Like when she comes in at the end of spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie yet, then I don't know where you've been. I don't know where you've been. You've
welcome
been
to
in,
2020, where you had plenty
yeah.
of time to watch it.
When she comes in at the end of Endgame, it's just so bad. She's just she goes through his ship, and it's just she's pretty. She doesn't get a lot of screen time, but it was freaking sick when she came in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about who my favorite female superhero.
It's difficult for me to pick a favorite because many of them are just mirrored lesser than versions of their the male version.
I don't think She-Hulk is. She-Hulk would whoop the Hawk's ass, or Hulk.
Hulk?
She-Hulk would. Yeah, She-Hulk would whoop Hawk's ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
But
that's too nerdy for me. My nerdy is limited.
I like, but yeah, you start talking about it, and you're like, okay, it's
I want
difficult
a more
to hold.
powerful woman, like doesn't hang on the curtails of another superhero. She's her own superhero.
Yeah.
And asking me what my favorite thing is the dumbest question ever.
Because you don't superhero.
Because
except
yeah.
Spider-Man.
No, asking me my favorite.
Oh, because you're indecisive.
My favorite anything. I am pansexual, gender fluid, and indecisive.
And indecisive.
So what you're saying is,
Ooh.
you know exactly what you want? Okay, I get it.
I'll have
I
one of
have-
each.
I'll have everything.
Yeah. Give me the assorted bunch. Yeah, so it was one of those learning experience about my family that I am the geekiest of them all.
Yeah, you are.
I have my comic books, which one of my favorite
Sorry.
one of my favorite comics was the Cable comic. And like I got super excited when I found out Cable was coming into Deadpool. I didn't even know who Deadpool was. Like that was never even in my circle of comics ever read. But Cable was, because the DC version of Cable, what's his name? I forget.
Electro Man. That's one.
And like I really liked how Cable used to have like that anger and that like and so
Yeah.
there's really not.
Don't mind me not knowing anything.
Yeah, I don't know. You're beyond my scope here.
Anyway, so what do you think about the birthday party?
The birthday party?
Yeah.
Which one are you referring to?
Kanye West's birthday
Kanye
party.
West's birthday
Oh,
party.
that was a birthday party? I didn't realize he was at a birthday party.
No.
I just thought he was just on
that's
some
the
stage
name.
somewhere.
That's the name of his party.
His party.
Oh, that's right. I just heard about this in a
Yes.
podcast I was listening to.
Yeah,
the
no,
birthday party.
Yeah, he called it. Elon Musk helped him name it, and they came up with the birthday party. And I don't know what birthday they're celebrating, but I don't want to be a part of it, man. Last week, there was a thing on Twitter where he had announced that he's no longer running. And so we got super excited, yeah, he's no longer running. And then literally days later, we find out he has a rally going on, and he's talking about Harriet Tubman and how Harriet Tubman didn't actually free any slaves. What the hell?
I don't
man?
understand which history book he was reading.
So what are your thoughts on Harriet Tubman saving America from slavery and doing the slave railroads,
Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
Well, a few years ago, there was talk about Harriet Tubman replacing Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill, which should have happened.
Yeah,
because she was talking about representation.
Andrew Jackson was a dickhead anyway.
He was, yeah, he really was. He
shots fired.
Yeah, so so getting to Kanye, obviously Tubman's a hero, and I love her.
Yeah.
But the thing with Kanye is I always go back to mental health with him, because I know that he suffers from bipolar disorder, and part of that actually contributes to because he really is an incredible rap artist and producer. And even Kim Kardashian. So just FYI, we keep up with the Kardashians here. By keeping up with the Kardashians, I mean Sarah does. And I just get the highlights from her, you know. And so it's like watching the sports highlights on Sports Center, And so Kim talks a lot about it, how it's contributes to his genius, but he does have a lot of mental health issues, and so I always keep that in mind when talking about him. But I mean, the first thing I thought of when he came out and decided to run was there's a need for the spotlight, for the attention.
Yeah.
That's there. I think that was definitely part of it. And the Harriet Tubman thing was just wildly disappointing, because he's an influencer. I've talked to young people who are very seriously love and adore Kanye, and even want to vote for him. And it's you can't just say things like this that are it's faux history. What you're saying is not true. And his idea is they went back to work for white people again, but yes and no. I mean, they went back and they were paid for work, and there was different things like that. But she quite literally was an abolitionist who risked her life
Yeah,
saving people from slavery. You can't deny that. So and we live in this age now where access to information is so easy, and we don't have the discipline for studying information and analyzing it, because we don't have to do the work it takes to get to it. So I can Google anything and figure out I can figure out any statistic that backs up any idea that I want.
It's terrifying.
It doesn't have to be a real statistic. I have literally talked to people about this and said, what you're saying is verifiably false, and here are the facts. And I said, well, those aren't my facts. I've seen people post falsified pictures on Facebook that are so obviously fake because it's a really bad Photoshop job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I told them, like, this is fake. And they said, I don't care if it's fake. It gets the point across. That's literally what they said. And it's like, we have this free access to information, but we don't have the discipline to actually like analyze it and see, is this true? Let me cross-reference this with other, with philosophy and other, just common sense or other sources of history. What's true and what's not. We just don't have that discipline to do that. We just like, what do I think is real? Yeah, there's some statistics to back it up. Cool.
Yeah.
What,
and then if
crazy.
it's proven wrong, then it's people take it as like a shot at their character, and it's not that. It's you have an opportunity to learn and do better. You should take that opportunity.
I don't understand how taking information and disseminating it through like a Twitter post and stuff like that is running for president. You know, there was no official announcement or anything like that. In the world of Twitter, I don't understand how, like, we have a president who uses Twitter as like that is his news source, and so that we have a individual who decides to run as president using the same method from a crackhead whore, you know.
What? I missed that part.
Sorry.
I haven't read the story, so I don't understand what that means.
So Kanye, he made his official announcement through Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's how he let everybody know he was going to do it. There was no official, like, you know, we're going to go on news and this and that. By the time he actually made his announcement, he couldn't even get it on all 50 ballots. Like, so I thought it was a joke. Like, I literally thought it was a joke, you know? I didn't think he was going to use the same method, and it seems to be he's using the same method as Donald Trump by putting his information through Twitterverse, and that's the way he's distributing it.
And then getting approval first and then going for it.
He's telling everybody to start writing ballots, like,
okay,
you know, like, like Oklahoma allows write-in ballots, and he was, where was he at? He was at
we have it here too, right?
Yeah, we have the ability for write-in ballots, but please don't write his name in. If you're gonna write somebody's name in, like Pete Buttigieg, Andrew Yang, like
Santa Claus,
way better solution. Santa Claus at least gives you the presents, you know,
right?
Like,
oh man,
you know, you have a much better chance. You have a better chance calling the fucking Easter Bunny, like, like it's bad, you know.
Yeah. Okay, you F-bombed it this time.
I did.
Not
I know.
me.
I have to remember that. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, there's been this you know, we've taken a lot of the honor and respect and dignity from the White House.
Yeah,
you know, it's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah,
it is sad, and it feels like you're not. I don't know. I feel like my patriotism has been broken, but at the same time, like, how dare you? No, it's not.
Like, back in the day, like, news used to be a industry that wasn't like tabloids. It was. I don't know.
I feel like it's always been tabloids.
No. It used to be. There used to be the journalists used to treat people with a little bit of honor. Like, there used to be, like, listen, FDR, right? FDR, you know, had issues. They didn't really focus on those. They focused on his, you know, what he's able to do, like what he did for the country, you know. And then there was a break in the media where it became the first person to get the story, you know, made the news. That's the way things.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way things happen now, right? But then you figure out how to manipulate that to where it benefits you, and then you become a president.
I feel like it's been that way since the 60s. So I've recently watched about 6 different
Which is
Trump
after
specific. Yeah, okay, you right.
so,
Documentaries about Trump. And the lines he used now, like fake news, he's been using that since the 70s.
he really has.
Very long time.
It hasn't changed.
But then you get Mr. West, who wants to run for presidency, and he holds an announcement. First off, he has no armed guards, right? So he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
And
I didn't watch it.
Go back. I can't even find like the full video. So all I found was him saying, and Harriet Tubman didn't actually free the slaves. I'm like, what? And then the lady that's taking the video is like, okay, we got to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
that would be so cringy to sit there and I don't know. It would feel disrespectful.
Yes. So he wore a bulletproof vest, and then he said he with his head shaved. 2020. It's just like there's no pre-planning to any of this. He has Elon Musk like cheering him on. And of course, Elon Musk has been going like batshit crazy on his Twitter, just really starting controversial.
I think that's what he enjoys. He likes to pick and then walk away.
Oh yeah. No, he's a guy that like pulls a scab. Oh, you guys are starting to heal? No, we're going to screw you up a little bit more.
Yep.
I don't know what world that, this guy's going to definitely take votes away from either side, but I don't get like, why is he running for president, Kris? Why?
It's ego. It's
I think it's a stunt. Yeah. I think it's media attention. I go back to when he jumped on the stage when Taylor Swift won, like, was that music video of the year or something,
it's so
that's
sad.
the greatest of all time. And it's like that kind of, I need that draw. I need that. It's like, why does he become a performer in the first place? Like, it's a psychological thing of like, there's that attention, that praise, that love, being the center, even if it's bad attention. And I think Trump is no different. There's stories about how his assistants would say, you need to pick up every single magazine and newspaper that you can find, and then just mark everything where you see Trump is mentioned and put it on his desk so he can read it. But prior to when he was president, which he probably does that now, but we have a president who on some weekends will tweet or retweet over 100 tweets related specifically to cable news coverage of him.
Yeah.
It's this obsession of, how does the media see me? How does the media observe me? And that can be good or bad. I don't care. I'm still getting the attention. Right. And there's a kind of high I think you get from that attention. I'm getting it right now being on your show. But it's that kind of like, you that's what you care about. It's your image, how people see you. And I think that's part of it too, is just kind of,
which is not what we need as a president. We need someone who worries about
the people
and not themselves.
Yeah,
exactly.
And in a world of we the people, it's became we the individual, and it's a sad world to be in. Last year, Mr. West wore a MAGA hat.
He did have a revelation, or I'm not sure what the right word is. I will be honest; it's past mommy me's time.
I know, and he was in the White House with Trump, and everyone could see on his phone. You see when he unlocked his phone, his code was just 00000.
Yeah.
No way.
He was on camera. Oh, sorry, I accidentally turned on Siri when I said that. No, Siri came on. Sorry.
When you want her to, but when you
exactly.
Well, if I say, "Hey, Sarah,"
see,
man, it just did it. See, it did it right now. If I say, "Hey,
so
Sarah,"
good.
It does it. Yeah. So it happens all the time. But yeah, I do think that there's lack of kind of dignity and respect, and lack of seeing the presidency as a public servant. A public office, and I think it's to even run for president, you have to be pretty confident and pretty
Yeah.
narcissistic and pretty like self-centered.
Well,
Mhm.
You know,
there was a study that said anybody who actually runs for president is most likely a psychopath. Like
A
just because
psychopath or a sociopath?
I think it was a psychopath, because the same characteristic of the narcissistic being to run for that type is the same as a psychopath, where you have no emotion, you have no like internal clock or anything like that. You just
you don't have like a measure of
Yeah.
other people's emotions.
no, yeah, you're completely
His dad,
like your
his father was the
empathic
same way.
is completely removed from your being. That's psychopath, right? That's not sociopath, right?
I don't recall. I'm literally listening to his
Yeah.
niece talk about it in the book
But
right now.
yeah, like, so in order for you to even want to run for that, like, your whole mindset is the same as a psychopath,
Just not to the extremes.
yeah, not to the extremes. So
You would hope at least.
I don't know.
right?
You have the ability to kill everybody.
That's terrifying.
Like they literally give him a nuclear football where you can punch in a code and say, "I am the only one that has this capability."
Is that still true?
Yes.
Crazy.
In order to be president, you have to have the secret codes and all that stuff to be able to start nuclear war.
It's interesting, you know, presidential history is one of my favorite topics.
Mm-hmm.
Super nerdy about it. I love presidential trivia, things like that. And it's amazing when you look at a lot of the great presidents, they had a lot of like personal triumphs because of suffering. Like Abraham Lincoln had an incredibly tragic childhood,
Mm-hmm.
very difficult life. His marriage was not great. You know, he lost, I mean, one of his children died while he was president.
Yeah.
And he was, but he even was the underdog for the Republican nomination in 1860. I mean, he was kind of getting notoriety because of his debates with Stephen Douglas, but you know, Seward and Bates and Chase, these guys were like these well-known like new Republican faces who were gonna like, you know, Seward was supposed to be the next big thing, and then Lincoln, this guy who's an underdog who had just a life of losing and personal tragedy, ends up being this great president. And one of my favorite things is, you know, people who have written about him, read a lot about him, talk about how he was a great orator, an incredible storyteller, and he loved sitting down and telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
And people said he had an amazing way of relating to people. And Stephen Douglas, who's one of the first earliest, like, or maybe not earliest, but like during this time, he was one of the most famous abolitionists. He was also black, and he said Abraham Lincoln, I didn't agree with him on everything, but he was one of the few white men that made me feel like a human, made me feel like I was his equal when I talked to him.
That's
and there's
awesome.
a sense of humility to that I think is missing. And even FDR, all his having tuberculosis, and just, you know, he had a lot of personal tragedy as well. I think that's so important to have that suffering that matures you and grows you and refines you. You know, I think that's
I think
key.
the most successful people like resurrect from the tragedy.
Right. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so it is a little bit past what we normally go. So do you have a podcast to plug, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we just started, right? So
Okay.
I've been trying to get a podcast together. My friend Eman and I just we've already recorded 3 episodes. We just decided on a name this week, so we're going to be putting them out pretty soon. It'll be the Eman and Kris show, Kris with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's going to be on Apple. It's going to be on Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
Not iTunes anymore. Apple Podcasts, and then is it Google Play? I'm an Apple person, so
Yeah.
I think it's Google Play.
Yeah, Google Podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will probably within the next month,
Okay.
probably less than that. We already have 3 episodes edited and ready to go. We just have to get it up and get it going. So it'll be the Eman and Kris show, and what we're going to be talking about is, we're both people who are Christians, and we have probably we feel like our views are oftentimes a minority because in our group, because we're both pretty progressive on social and political and cultural issues, and so we wanted to give space to have that voice be heard. And we're also just going to be talking about just movies, fun topics, things like that, just chatting.
Cool.
And so Yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. A lot of people were asking me because I would post my thoughts about things like, man, you should like blog or podcast or something. And so we started recording a few episodes. So just be on the lookout for that. The Eman and Kris with a K, Kris with a K show.
So what inspired you to start podcasting? Besides people asking you to like, is there a certain podcast that got you into it, or?
I'll answer that with two things. Let me tell you this podcast that really inspired me. There's this one podcast called The Politics Guys, and it's a great podcast. And usually it's two people. Sometimes they do three if it's like a big topic, if there's a big issue happening, they'll have three people. But most of the time it's just two, and it's usually people on who have differing political perspectives. It's not always the same. Sometimes they have a libertarian and someone who's liberal, and sometimes they have someone who's moderate and someone who's pretty staunch Republican conservative. And they kind of switch it up, quite a bit. And they just have like civil discussion about it. And it's really, really good because it gives you good perspective on different topics. Another one is I love the Relevant podcast. Those guys have a hilarious podcast. They're Christians who they talk about a lot of culture, and they come at it from a different perspective. And I really enjoy that one. Plus, they're just really good at putting a podcast together. It's really good. And the other one that
no Relevant podcast,
Relevant podcast. Yeah, that one's been on for a long time. Like they started podcasting in like 2004. Or something like 2005. They've been around a long time.
Yeah.
And the other one I just got into, this is more teacher oriented, but I'm really into it. So I love Disneyland, and I'm really into Imagineering. The Imagineering documentary series on Disney Plus is fantastic.
Yes.
Just the ability to use creativity and imagination with engineering at the same time is just really cool. So I started listening to this podcast. If you're more interested in education, some of the stuff I was talking about with that, there's a podcast called Imagineering Education, where they are educators and they use concepts from Imagineering and from Disney and apply it to the classroom in a creative way to solve problems. And it's really cool. I've been really into that one. So that one really inspires me personally as a teacher.
Yeah.
And then what inspired me to start the podcast was I was having these conversations with people on social media, and I found social media to be an awful platform at times to talk about these things. I know that's crazy to say. I know that's weird, but
no,
you're the first person I've ever heard this from.
I saved it for your podcast.
I appreciate
so
that.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. But so we wanted to have a safe place for people who had our views within Christian, even if you're not a Christian, to listen.
I think that's super awesome because it can be an isolating feeling as a Christian who's also progressive.
Yeah, it can be.
Usually there's a hard stick in the line, and you don't do both. So I know, like, so we were talking about the Disney, and like, have you ever seen the YouTube channel Defunct Land?
Yes, I have.
Oh my goodness,
we've watched it as a family. It's pretty good.
So good.
I think Abs got us into it, huh?
No, I got us into it.
Oh, it was you?
It was me. I actually did something.
There's some good Disneyland YouTube channels out there. They're pretty interesting, and it's funny because Disneyland, like in Disney parks, fandom is like massive. Like not just like people who like I love going every summer. Like people are obsessed.
Oh yeah,
with Disney parks, and and there's like bitter like division and like rivals, and they're like it's a whole like thing. Like I did a you kind of stay up late at night and you go into deep weird corners on the internet, and I end up going, they call it Diz Twitter, and I end up like scrolling through like, man, these people are like taking things way too personally. This is like we're talking about Disneyland. Like how can you be divided
what
over
is it called?
Disneyland?
Diz Twitter?
Diz Twitter, yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm doing today.
yeah hashtag Diz Twitter, and then like DIS Twitter. But and I love Disneyland. I'm super into Disneyland and kind of Imagineering and what they do. That the Disney Plus documentary series on Imagineering is fantastic. Super well done. Yeah.
So where can everybody find you?
They can find me on Twitter is the best place. Twitter is more so where I do things in a more public style. Instagram tends to be more of like my personal life. So my Twitter, I have a interesting spelling to my name. It's at Christopher, so KRISTOFOR, and then Smith. So at Christopher Smith.
You don't want to spell
on
Smith.
Twitter. What's that?
You don't want to spell Smith?
S-M-I-T-H. I almost never do.
It's
So
not like ours.
It's like the
Dave.
common spelling. Got
yeah.
it.
Yeah, so Kristofor, and then Smith. So it's like Christopher. Jessica's probably like, that's not how it was spelled.
Not when I was a kid, but I remembered the story.
You remember the story, yeah. So
Yeah, I kind of love that you adapted it. So
yeah, because it
It's
was
pretty cool.
legally spelled O-R. And I found out
Yeah.
when I was 16, I got my driver's license, that it was spelled wrong at some point.
yeah.
And when you're 16, you're just like, I don't even know who I am anymore. They spelled my name wrong
Yeah, it
this
was
whole
a pretty
time.
big deal.
Yeah.
I'm defeated. I have no will to love, and can I have a driver's license still? Because
I just want to drive a car. I just kept it because it was unique. Like, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Your name is already unique, I think, and it just made it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Do you have any idea when your shows might come out?
Probably the next couple weeks. Actually, I'm thinking probably next week.
Okay.
Cool.
So-
And you'll when you get a chance, and you're you know when it's coming out and all that stuff, send me the link and I'll put it in the show notes.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'll repost your show on my Twitter.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
that's
right.
it.
That sounds good.
Mhm.
All right, Chris. I really appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Normally
Yeah.
we would have a game and stuff like that, but
We got down talking. It was fun.
it was a lot of fun.
I
knew
want
we
the
would.
fake movie titles. That actually looked pretty fun too.
It
I
did.
looked at it. Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta make sure these guys get some rest and stuff like that. So
Put it on us.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can.
You're
I can
right,
keep
though.
going.
You're right, though.
Nice. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys. That was really
Absolutely.
fun. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later,
All right.
man.
All right, y'all have a good night.
You
You too.
too. That was cool.
Stopping recording and ending the stream.
That was a lot of fun.
Wow.